Hello, everybody. Hello, Kayla, Elaine, Kristen, Robert, Andrea, Alyssa. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Valentine's Day, you guys. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. So if you are, if you have your video on, which I don't know if any, I don't think any of you guys do, but can you guys give me a thumbs up? Or if you guys can let me know in the chat. If you guys aren't familiar with how Zoom works, it's very easy. At the very bottom, there's a chat box that you can click on. And when you click on that, you can engage throughout the entire session today. So if you guys want to go ahead and click that, thank you guys so much, Kayla, Alyssa. Perfect. Awesome. 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 So I'm going to wait for a couple more people to pop on. We had about 75, I think, sign up. So typically about 20% show up live, and then we'll go ahead and send you guys out the replay. I have some special announcements at the very end. So if you guys can stay to the very end, I'm going to try to finish this up and wrap it up in around an hour, hour and 15. I tend to just talk through these things so much because I'm so passionate about marketing and business growth. And I know you guys are too, otherwise you guys would not be here today. So I'm really excited for today's chat because we are going to be talking about how to grow your sunless business. I do know some of you guys that are on here right now. So if you guys can just take a moment, even those of you guys who I do know, just to introduce yourselves. Let me know who you are, what type of service you offer, and if it's spray tanning, let us know how long you've been in the industry, and let us know maybe your Instagram handle so that way we can go ahead and stalk you guys. It's cool because a lot of the times the women in these sessions will meet each other through just the chat box and they'll connect that way. So if you guys want to network, I mean, it's a great way to do that as well, in addition to learning what we're going to be talking about today. So if you guys want to take a moment, just introduce who you are, your business, and maybe your Instagram handle so we can go ahead and follow each other. And while you guys are doing that, I'm just going to pop up my session here for the day. All right, cool. Everything's good. Perfect. And I'm going to be going back and forth between the chat box here, and then also for some people who are coming in a little bit later, I'm going to have to allow them to come in, because as you guys noticed, you guys were in a waiting room, so it doesn't allow them to come in unless I manually allow them to come in. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of go back and forth. So if it seems like I'm looking all over the place, it's because I'm doing a couple different things here. All right, so we got Elaine from Mississippi, and I just launched but do not have a business account yet on social. Okay, gathering content now. That's awesome. Welcome, Elaine. Thank you so much for showing up. Alyssa, I do know you. She's from Seattle. She's the owner of Twilight Tans Mobile and Studio Spray Tanning and Training. She'll be in business 4 years. That's awesome. You do spray tans, Elaine. Perfect. Bethany says, Bethany Parker, I own a luxury spray tan bar. I've been spray tanning for 6 years. Awesome. Awesome. Kayla from Sudbury. That's, I believe, in Canada is where you're from. I'm also a spray tan tech and just started spray tanning. Okay, lash tech. There you go. Perfect. Thank you so much. Awesome. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just hop on because I don't want to hold you from anything that you guys have going on today as far as maybe dinner plans or anything like that, celebrating with your girlfriends or significant other, or maybe even by yourself. That's totally fine too. I've done that many times. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And we'll go ahead and get started. If you guys have been to one of these master sessions before, it's going to be very similar. I didn't really update too much because a lot of the information that was on there previously is very useful for a lot of the people who are interested in growing their business. So I will, as time goes, add certain things, take certain things off. And I've done a couple of minor adjustments here, but I just wanted to give you that information. It's always good to kind of revisit and rewatch because you never know what you're going to get that second time. A lot of the times whenever I'm doing a training, I usually take notes the first time and then I'll rewatch everything again and take more notes. So it's one of those things that you can kind of layer on. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is all good to go. All right, let's get that chat box up. And as I'm going, feel free to ask any questions that you guys want. If I don't see it right away, I do at the very end kind of look through the entire conversation to see what you guys were asking, because I want to make sure this is valuable for you guys and that you guys are getting your questions answered as well. All right, so I'm assuming you guys are here today because you guys want to grow your sunless business. So whether you're new or a veteran, this is going to be helpful in getting in the mindset of becoming a business owner. That is what I'm all about. I love, love, love business growth. As some of you guys may know, I'm all about marketing, mindset, and really stepping into becoming a business owner, because without that mindset, without the knowledge of how to market and things like that, it's really hard to thrive in this industry. You have to know how to market yourself. You have to know business. And of course, you need to be good as far as, your art goes as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So my name is Callaghan. I'm a licensed esthetician and the founder of Spray Tan Class. I'm an international sunless educator and speaker. I had a salon called Slave Beauty Bar, if you guys are familiar with that beauty bar in San Diego. I recently sold it through COVID. I just had my first baby in January, so a couple weeks ago. He's actually 4 weeks. That went by really quick. And so I sold that through the process, just knowing that I wanted to stay at home and really start focusing in on helping women grow their businesses through marketing strategies and mindset strategies. I also host a podcast and a live event called Beauty Business Babes. And this was formerly called Wake Up to Level Up. If you guys have heard of that, it's the same exact thing. It's all about mindset and marketing and business growth. So I'm a lover of all things, but most of all, I really got into this industry because I love to connect with women and I love to help empower women. I think that there are so many great artists out there that aren't equipped with the knowledge in terms of marketing and really growing their business so that way they can thrive in this industry instead of just surviving or really not knowing what they're doing, and taking the fun out of what this could be for them. So I really want to step up and really help beauty business professionals gain leverage as far as that goes. So in this training, we're going to be talking about some of the excuses and things that come up for us as sunless artists or beauty business professionals and how to overcome those obstacles. I'm going to talk about 5 steps to create more money now, so that way you guys can start really focusing in on getting multiple streams of income coming in. We're going to talk about tips and tricks on how to create a 5-star experience every single time, marketing, of course, and we're going to talk about how to create your dream sunless business and how you can take action right now. So a little bit about my story and why I'm here is basically I started my mobile spray tanning business. It was my very first business back in 2014. And I started off with just my spray gun, my equipment, my tent, and just some belief and hope that this was going to work out. I had no prior business experience, nothing like that. I don't even have any, at that point, I didn't have any friends or family that were entrepreneurs. So I kind of just jumped into this. I was doing corporate for a long time and in sales and really thriving in that, but my soul wasn't fulfilled. And so when I quit my corporate job, I allowed myself 18 months to travel around the world. And I did that by myself for the most part and really enjoyed that. But at the end, you can imagine that I had no more money left. And with my last $2,000 in my bank account, I spent that on my equipment and got everything I needed to get in order to start spray tanning. So with that, I had the option to go back to corporate life, and that just wasn't an option for me. So with that, I had this fire lit underneath my butt. I really wanted to make this work out. And within 6 months, I was able to get into a salon, start renting a room. And from there, I was able to get my license in aesthetics, grow my business, finally get my own storefront called Slave Beauty Bar. And with that, I also started doing the spray tan training. So I did one-on-one trainings and traveled all around the US to do trainings like this one right here, where we have a huge group of women. And now I was able to certify them through our program. So we started off with just a beginner's course, and now we have a master's course and online courses so we can help women all around the world. So I love doing that. That is basically my main jam right now. That's my main focus, that along with, of course, marketing that I'm going to be talking about today. If you guys have found me through the podcast, you guys know what that's all about. It's Beauty Business Babes is what it's called. And again, it's mindset and business growth for beauty business professionals. Within the last 2 years, I also saw that we really needed a product in the sunless industry that was going to be really versatile, something that would be easily, you can apply easily and would be good for multiple different types of skin, and something that was going to be deep and dark, because apparently there wasn't a solution out there that was going to get dark enough for a lot of our artists. So I decided to come out with my own solution. It's called Obsidian Sunless, and it's my baby. It's my baby. It was definitely a process, really, really fun and scary to do. But at the same time, I knew that we needed that as industry professionals. So I went ahead and worked with a chemist to create this. And since then, for the last 2 years, it's really, really blown up. I'm so grateful because since then, we've been able to come out with more products like the Sunless Mousse and also a lighter version of Obsidian Dark that we first initially came out with. So all of this spanned from 2014 to 2020, which was, well, 2021 technically today. And we are now a $500,000 business. So the reason why I'm sharing my story with you is because I want you guys to know that you guys can go in so many different directions once you choose to do so. I think a lot of these things that I've done have been very scary. I never felt ready for it, you know, from starting my business to doing the group classes to doing the podcast. I never felt 100% ready, but I knew in my heart and in my soul that I had to say yes to the scary thing. So I share this with you guys because you guys can go in so many different directions. So I want you guys to keep an open mind through this training and understand that there's so much opportunity for you right now. And regardless of any type of fear or doubts that we can come up with, COVID related or otherwise, like there are still opportunities right now today that you can take. So I want to make sure that you guys know that. I want to ask you guys, as sunless professionals or people who are in the industry already, I'm assuming that you guys got into the industry, or if you're new to the industry, got into the industry or getting into the industry because you want more time. You probably want more freedom. You want more money. I think there's a couple of reasons that we choose to become business owners because it's not for everybody, right? And some of the main reasons why I chose to become a business owner was to have more time, was to have the freedom to be able to travel whenever, wherever I wanted, and really to have uncapped potential as far as money went, because I love creating things like this for you guys. And I love the fact that I can create my own reality based on what I'm doing and how much work I'm putting into my own work. Because when you work for somebody else, typically you have some sort of cap. You can't just have unlimited financial potential, right? So I want to know from you guys, what is your main reason for becoming a business owner or being a business owner today? Is it to have more time? Is it to have more freedom? Is it to have more money? You know, is it to connect with women and to feel fulfilled in what you're doing? And that was another, you know, part of the whole piece of the reason why I became a business owner is because I love to connect with women. And in my corporate life, that was not something I could do on a consistent basis. You know, we were dealing with all kinds of different people and it really wasn't something that I was passionate about. So now going into the beauty industry and really being able to work with you guys one-on-one or in groups and things like that, it's so fulfilling. And I'm so honored to, again, be here and be able to connect with you guys further. So let's talk a little bit about money. I know that this can be a little bit of a touchy subject for some people. I really don't know why still, because a lot of the reason why many of you guys are probably in the business is to create financial income, right? To have financial income and to make sure that you're doing the best that you can do to have the best life. So money shouldn't be a taboo topic. I personally don't think, I have no problem talking about money. I love it. I do feel like the energy that you put into your work is going to be a reflection on how much you are making in your business. So what this looks like as far as the sunless industry goes, if you're working in a studio, you should be pricing a little bit higher than $40 in my opinion, but we're just going to kind of go with the bare minimum here and say $40 is something that you can charge if you're in the sunless industry. Just to give you a comparison, at Slay Beauty Bar, before I sold it, we were charging $55 for our basic spray tan. So I would love to see most of you artists around that price point. So if you're in studio and charging $40 and you have 4 tans a day, you can make an income of $38,400 per year. Now, if you charge $40 and say you're a little bit busier, and let me just move my head here, and you got 12 tans in a day, you can make a 6-figure income. So I want you guys to imagine where you could be and kind of reverse engineer this, right? So think about, how much do I want to make per year? And if that's over, 100,000, that's great, right? So write that number down and do some math and figure out, okay, if I price every single tan, or every tan is on average this price, how many tans a day do I need to have in order to make this a year? This is something I did from the very, very beginning because I love to goal set. I'm all about goal setting. So it's really important that you know where you're aiming for. If not, then you can get lost, right? You can just be working just to work. And we don't want that. We want you to have focus, clarity, and an understanding of what you're doing per day and how many tans you need to be doing per day in order to reach that goal. Same exact thing with your mobile service. So if you're pricing $65 and you have 4 tans in a day, you can make $62,400, right? Same thing right here. If you go a little bit lower on the graph, you can see that if you price at 65 times 8 tans in one day, you can make a 6-figure income. So of course there's pros and cons to being in just a studio as well as doing just mobile. My suggestion to you is, if I were to start all over again, I would try to get in studio and do mobile at the same time while I'm growing my business, because you'll find that your clients a lot of clients like to come to you for whatever reason. And not only that, but you can fit at least 4 people within that hour. So you can make a lot more money than if you were doing just mobile, unless you did it right. So somebody I love to bring up in these sessions is Jimmy Coco. He is a celebrity spray tanning artist, and he charges about $250 to $300 per spray tan. Now, I've never gotten a spray tan from Jimmy Coco, but I assume it's pretty luxurious, right? Like, he probably rolls out the red carpet for them and treats them in a way that is very, very, I guess, luxurious, catered to whatever term you want to call it. But he really markets to these individuals, right? Which is why he can price accordingly. Now, as far as his technique goes and solutions and stuff like that, I would assume it's very similar to what we're doing for our clients if we're doing a great job, which is fine, which is what we need to continue doing. But remember that you can price according to who your ideal client is. If you're trying to serve people who are in high school or people who are in college who maybe don't have the funds to pay $250, obviously you can't charge that. But if your ideal client is somebody that, is more on the higher end and has a high income level and is very bougie, then you can go ahead and charge a little bit higher, right? So it's all dependent on who you're marketing to and how you're marketing. So I wanted to give this little quote to you guys, because I think a lot of what I'm hearing in the groups is that COVID is really diminishing our business. It's not working for us. It's actually working against us, and we're like struggling for clients here. So if you're one of those people that are like, oh my God, I'm freaking out right now, I don't have any clients, I don't know how to get clients, I want you to remember that any type of fear or any type of excuse or anything like that can be overcome, because the beauty industry doesn't really get affected by the economy. So right now, this is something that I got off of Netflix on the documentary Broken. The beauty industry is exploding right now. It's valued at $445 billion. That's with a B, billion. And it's expected to go to 800 billion in the next 5 years. And this was just in 2020 when I watched this documentary. So I want you guys to remember that no matter what, the beauty industry, you can thrive. You can definitely thrive in this industry. It's just up to you to make sure that you're marketing and you're being consistent. So don't let anything, even if it's COVID related, throw you off, because we can make something happen because we are in such a good industry and a resilient industry. All right, so I want to ask you guys, why aren't you making exactly how much you want? So if you're not hitting that 6-figure mark, for example, or if your goal is to make $60,000 right now, and you guys can, write this down in a journal, or you can share it in the chat, and I would love to have an open discussion about this. But why aren't you making exactly how much you want? I'm curious. And so get real with yourself. Is it because you're not marketing enough? Is it because you have this fear of COVID and so you're just not showing up? Or is it because you've been shut down? It could be that too, right? There's so many different variables. So I want you guys to either journal or even write down in the chat, why aren't you making as much money as you could right now, as you want to? And I'm just gonna go ahead and admit somebody into the group here. Perfect. All right, and I'm gonna read some of your feedback here. Okay, cool. So Becca says, set my own schedule and make more money doing what I love. Yes, it's so good. Alyssa says, connecting and helping women feel amazing, but also to grow my business and gain financial freedom and more time for me. Hallelujah. Amen. Kayla says, I've been working at home with my kiddos for 10 years now. It's all I ever wanted to do. Now that they are older and don't need me as much, I want to do a little something for myself. I love that. Making my own hours and still being home, plus financial freedom to travel with my family. My husband is 4 years from retirement with the Army, and it's just time. Yes, I love that. So good. Elaine says, I wanted to help women feel amazing, and me being naturally very pale, I want to show women like me that there's a way to have a beautiful tan skin without harmful rays. Thank you so much for including that, because that is such a huge thing, right? We don't have to feel bad about anything as far as what we're applying to their skin, because a lot of what we do here as sunless artists, we do apply things that are natural ingredients and organic ingredients and things like that that aren't going to harm the skin. Alyssa says in studio ranges from 50 to 80 and mobile 65 to 100. Perfect. Alyssa, I'm curious, do you do competition tanning? Alyssa said, I was scared to really put myself out there. Yes, business is growing, but I was standing in my own way. 2020 made me realize that I have been full steam ahead, growing and creating new services, trainings. Perfect. And see, this is what I mean by thriving right now. What COVID gave me was the opportunity to, you know, like Alyssa, kind of just step back and like look at my business. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? And really focus in on the things that I'm great at and that I'm really passionate about, which is speaking to you guys, helping you guys grow. And I knew that it was time for me to let go of my salon. And that brought a lot of, you know, questions and doubts and fears and all kinds of things, because that was my baby. That was my firstborn child, basically, was my salon. But there comes a point in time where you grow out of things, and that's totally okay. I really thrive in the online space. And so I want you guys to realize that you guys, again, I'm going to mention this probably a couple of times, you guys can go in so many different directions. So I really want to help you guys realize that and get there. All right, so this is something we just briefly talked about, so I want to talk about it again. I want you guys to remember that if you're not creating the income that you want, you need to set a goal. If you haven't already, especially, you need to set an income goal for yourself, because again, if you're just shooting from the hip and just kind of like not knowing what you're aiming for, you don't know whether you're hitting goals or not. You don't know where you're aiming for. And so that's going to make it a lot more difficult for you to find motivation. Because imagine if you had a day, right, where you had, say your goal was to have 8 tans in a day and you had like 6. You would show up so much harder on like social media, or maybe texting people, or maybe sending out a newsletter to get the last 2, because you know that that's your goal. So set an income goal for yourself. And again, we're going to reverse engineer here. We're going to have an income goal for the entire year. We're going to divide that into months and then days, and how many days you want to work and how much you would need to make in those days in order to fulfill and make that goal at the end of the year. If you're not doing this, this is a huge, 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 huge part that is missing in your business. You have to have goals. You want to identify also, where are you at right now? So if you haven't started yet, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to figure this out. So just give yourself some time to look at your numbers as you're growing. So no matter if you have 1 tan a week, it doesn't matter. Keep track of that. Understand where you're at and understand what your goals are, so that way you can start kind of stretching yourself to make more, maybe more posts, or connect with more people, or do whatever you need to do in order to get to that goal. Write out from knowing where you're at now to what goals you're having, goals you have. Understand what is the gap, if there is one. Maybe there's not a gap. Maybe you're completely on pace to hit that goal. What is that gap, and what do you need to do in order to make your goal a reality? And another thing I want you to think about is, how are you missing the opportunities right now? So I'm going to give you again some tips for you guys to really think about what you can do to grow your business. So I want you to just really think about the things that I'm saying so you guys can maybe implement some of the stuff into what you're doing right now, into your strategy, so that way you can stretch yourself and create that goal for you. So thriving this year and beyond. First off, your mind has to be right. Your mind has to go into this confidently, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be confident 100% of the time, but you have to go into this with the mindset that you are badass and you're going to make this happen. That was the number one thing for me. It was that belief, that faith in myself, that even though I didn't know what everything was going to look like or how to even market myself in the beginning, I knew that I was going to make this happen. I knew it was going to be big, and I had that faith and that belief in myself. So there's something called self-confirming bias, and this is actually a real term, and it's a real psychological thing. If you guys want to look it up and do some research on it, it's very interesting. Basically what it's saying is that what you're thinking, you know, what belief you hold, you're going to find outside sources to confirm that bias, to confirm that thought, to confirm that belief. So if you're saying, I'm not a business owner, I am not going to get clients, you're going to find every excuse to not show up. You're going to find every type of judgment on yourself to not be able to proceed with whatever it is that you want to do. You're going to confirm that bias, as opposed to basically kind of like, you know, faking it until you make it, I guess, which is not necessarily something I believe in. You don't want to fake it, but you want to believe in yourself, right? You want to have that confidence and say, hey, I can look in the mirror and say, I'm going to figure this out. I know I can do this. So having that bias, having that confirmation, having that thought process in your mind, you're going to start acting a certain way. You're going to start showing up a certain way, and you are going to figure it out because you believe that you can. So I want you to take this with you in every regard in your life, because it can work with anything, like even your relationships. Since it's Valentine's Day, why don't we talk about that? If you're like, my boyfriend sucks, you're going to find every single reason why he does. So it's really important for you to understand that our minds are so incredibly powerful, and it's really important for us to set up these beliefs before there's actually proof, because we will then find the proof through self-confirming bias. So step one, how do you really do this? Step one is having the awareness of your thoughts. Having the awareness as if you're kind of like a third party over here, observing what you're thinking. This is something that has helped me so much in my life. And when I had this negative thought or this judgment of myself or this fear, I realized, like, where did that come from? Why am I telling myself this story? And is this story even true? So the next step is, what is the truth? Is what I'm telling myself an assumption? Is it actual facts? Or is it just some fear-based type of thought that just came out of nowhere? Then what you can do is change your perspective, change your story. And this is the most powerful thing, in my opinion, that we can do as individuals, as women, as business owners, as spouses, as mothers, whatever, as friends. Changing your perspective. Flipping the switch, being able to say, that is not serving me, so I can allow myself to gracefully let that go and unapologetically let that go, and change my perspective to, yes, I can do this. Yes, maybe, you know, I've messed up in the past, but I know that I can figure this out, or I know that I'm a good person, or I know that I'm deserving of this. So changing your perspective on it is so incredibly important, and that will go along with business as well. It is time to start taking radical responsibility. This is something, again, I see in the groups a lot. A lot of us are in that victim mentality of, well, I can't do it because I don't have enough money, time, energy. I don't have the support from my family or my boyfriend, or I have kids, or you can give and list so many different things. But if you think about the people that are doing it, that have the same excuses available to them, why can they do it and you can't? The difference is, in my opinion, it's one, again, taking radical responsibility, saying, yes, I'm capable of doing this despite whatever else externally is going on. But knowing that you're in control, right? Knowing that I'm in control over my destiny. I'm in control of how I schedule things in my life. If I really want something bad enough, I am going to take full responsibility. And there's so much power in that. So when you do that, you're again going to show up a little bit differently so you can accomplish those goals. So number one, know that you're in control. It is up to you to make the decisions to change the trajectory of your life. If you're not liking where you're at right now, you have to do something different. Nobody can do it for you. This is something I've learned the hard way. Nobody can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. Number two, be honest. What do you need to do next in order to elevate to the next level? Something that Tony Robbins says is, if you are not growing, you're dying. So if your business isn't growing in the way that you want it to, if you aren't growing personally as, you know, a person, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's how I feel. So that's why I'm constantly doing different things. If you guys have noticed, I'm taking different courses all the time. I'm always going to different events. I'm always trying to grow because I want to learn and soak up everything that this life has to offer. And the more that I do that, the better I get. And I love that because that's fulfilling, right? So be honest with yourself. What do you need to do next? And how do you do that? How do you get there? Then number three is taking massive action. A lot of us are thinkers. Many of us are not doers. And that's really sad to think about because I know that we have so much potential, each and every one of you, and myself included. I'm still not where I need to be or want to be. And it's because the lack of action. So taking responsibility for yourself and understand that you will not allow any excuse, person, place, thing, or anything to deter you from your goals is imperative for you to grow. This is one of my students, and I love, again, to talk about mindset, which is what we just talked about. I love to talk about marketing, and the reason why is because people like Nicole. It wasn't until I learned about my mindset and marketing and technique that I elevated to 6 figures in my salon. So I feel like this is like the 3-part system for all sunless professionals and really all beauty business professionals. If you have the right mindset, coupled with the great marketing skills and knowledge, also you're a great artist, which I'm assuming all of you guys are, because that's probably the easiest part of all this, you can get to 6 figures or more, whatever your goal is. You just have to have those things aligned. So let's dive into how to make more money now. The first thing I want to talk about is creating more income streams. So basically what that means is, yes, maybe you're a sunless artist. Maybe you just do sunless artistry right now. Maybe you're going to people's houses, you're just doing mobile. How do we create more streams of income so that way you can thrive even faster? And a couple of ways that you can do that as a sunless artist right now is maximizing each client through retail. So I loved, during 2020, I loved how everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people pivoted to online sales. They thought it was so important to get online because they didn't have the opportunity to see people face to face. So what this did was allowed people to create their online stores and create income right then and there through their online through their online store. But also now going into 2021, where we're starting to open again and things like that, now they still have that cushion and that extra revenue stream to create income for themselves. So now they don't have to wait for somebody to walk into their salon or go to somebody mobile to sell their retail products. It could be anybody, anywhere, at any time purchasing their retail products. So this is so important. If you are not online, I highly recommend getting online. And to back that up a little bit, if you're not selling retail, you absolutely should be selling retail that you love, so that way it can help things like, you know, the tan extender, extending out the tan for a couple of days for your clients, or body wash that is spray tan safe, things like that to help maximize each client for yourself and also their experience getting that spray tan. The second thing is adding on advanced services. So like Alyssa, for example, contouring, right? I asked her about competition tanning, things like that you can add on into your service menu if you haven't done that already, to make sure that you're creating a little bit more opportunity for yourself and offering things to your clients that maybe wouldn't be clients if you did not have that type of service. And the last thing on here is adding complimentary services onto your service menu. So something like teeth whitening. The profit that we had at Slay Beauty Bar is $120 per person. That's huge. So if you just get a couple every single week, that's massive, right? So $360 for 3 people. That's great. That's great. That's almost half of the rent that I had at my old place. I think that's awesome. If you're able to do that, I highly recommend looking into that. Something that Lucy Salguero did, she is one of our STC Spray Tan class trainers. She said, for me, what made me popular and continues to impress clients has to be my complimentary cheekbone contouring for women and biceps for men. So basically she takes her gun and she does free bicep contouring for men and free cheekbone contouring for women. They always love how they look and receive the best feedback and referrals because of it. They tend to come back wanting the entire contour add-on. That's genius because it only takes you a couple of minutes to do something so small like that, right? And then you'll get more referrals coming back and feedback as well. So one of the ways that you can create more revenue streams, like I talked about, is having some sort of self-tanner or tan extender. So if you guys look at the Obsidian self-tanning mousse right here, the MSRP on this is $44 for a 10-pack, right? Per unit, I should say. Your cost is $22 per unit for the 10-pack. Your profit is $22 per unit. And if you sell 10, then you have a profit of $220. So instead of making just that baseline of $40 or $50 or whatever you charge for your spray tan, then you can add on the $22 that you profit from selling a retail product that's going to help your client. So you actually make the $62 for one client instead of just the $40, if that makes sense. So something like this, if you don't have retail already, I highly recommend looking into it. There's wholesale options for you, things like that. Pamela Price is also another spray tan class trainer. So she does something a little bit different. And she says, I have increased my average sunless service by 30% by offering upsell options like facial contouring, mini contouring, or Obsidian. So as you can see right here, I pulled this right off of her website where people can book with her. And she has these options to add on. So you have your body contouring, your express contouring, CBD spray tan, make it express, Obsidian, and facial contouring. So you can add on all of these things and let your clients know that you're doing add-ons like that, so that way they can choose what type of experience they want. And also, obviously, you would make more money doing that. Step number 2, packages and memberships. So what I would love for you guys to think about, and actually if you guys want to pull up the chat really quick, let me know, are you guys offering packages, memberships? Are you not doing either? Are you doing one of them? I would love, love, love to know, because I think that this is a huge missed opportunity for so many people. Becca says both. Awesome. Do you mind sharing like what your 2 best sellers are? So what your best selling membership is and maybe what your best selling package is? I would love to know. So while you're typing that, I want you guys, for those of you guys who aren't doing any type of packages or memberships, I want you to start thinking and maybe writing down, what is your best selling service? Is it contouring? Is it your base tan? Is it your rapid tan? Find out what your best selling service is. Now, once you found that, you can start creating packages and memberships around that, right? Just that one service, and then you can always add on, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So if you could just start with that one service and figure out, okay, the baseline spray tan is my best-selling service, so I'm going to go ahead and start there. Now I'm going to start creating irresistible offers for them that feel really good for me, but also will really help our clients come on a more consistent basis and will keep them loyal to us, right? That's the whole goal with packages and memberships. It gives you the opportunity to have them come back more consistently and create that loyal foundation between you and the client. So as an example, our best-selling package was buy 3, get 1 free. This expired in 90 days. At checkout, you can say something just so you're not feeling sleazy or feeling weird about selling, which none of you guys should, because you guys should really believe in your service and your products that you're selling. At checkout, you should say something like, do you have a package with us? Or for new clients, did you want to save some money with our current package deals? Something like that to open up the door, to let them know that you do offer packages and that you offer memberships, and to get them thinking like, what kind of packages do you have? Or maybe even next time they come in, once they realize like how much they love their spray tan, you're planting the seed for next time they come in to ask that same question. Becca says, best-selling package, buy 3, get 1 free, expires in 3 months. Perfect. I love that. My express tans are the best-selling with contour gaining more traction. That's awesome. I also offer a new client 3-pack, good, only at their first appointment. Perfect. Okay, great. Yeah, I love the packages more so than the memberships, only because the way that our system worked, it was really kind of hard in the beginning to have memberships and to like see how many people came in at what times. And it was just kind of awful just based on our booking system and how that like accounting was. So if you don't have an easy way to account for how many people came in, that have memberships and how to like account for all of that in an easy fashion, I don't recommend doing memberships because it can be kind of overwhelming. So the packages, typically most booking systems, whether it's Vagaro, StyleSeat, Booker, Mindbody, I'm sure Gloss Genius, like they should have packages that are easy to account for. So that's always my go-to if you can't do a membership. So step number 3 to make more money now is networking. If you have not done this already, which I'm sure a lot of you guys probably pushed the brake on this since COVID happened in 2020, we weren't really able to meet people in person. I've seen a lot of beauty professionals pivot though online. So doing live streams, Instagram lives, Facebook lives, and really doing interviews on podcasts, things like that, to network and to introduce each other to each other's audience. So I think this is a great way. Again, not using the excuse of COVID, finding other ways to be creative so that way you can continue to network and in fact grow your audience and potential clients, right? So make sure that you are continuing to do this no matter what. This is so important. It's really important to get your name out there to the right types of people, create relationships with them so that way you can grow in so many different ways, really, because I personally have worked with so many different beauty professionals that allowed me to grow personally, professionally, and also my audience. So reach out to local beauticians who work alongside your ideal client. If you do spray tans, which I'm sure all of you guys do, reach out to lash artists, reach out to hairstylists, makeup artists, people who are in your local geographic location, so that way you guys can maybe interview each other on Instagram or on Facebook and introduce each other to each other's audience. Create a page on your website dedicated for cross-networking opportunities. So for example, we have Senna Smile, which is our teeth whitening service, on our website. And they also help promote spray tan class, right? So we work together to create a networking opportunity between the two of us so that way we can introduce Senna Smile to all of you and they can introduce spray tan class, or myself just with my social media services and things like that, to their audience as well. You can create a social media schedule for you and other beauticians to cross-promote consistently for exposure. I think one thing that I hear a lot is I don't want to continue promoting the same thing over and over again because I'm afraid that I'm going to tire and bore my audience. The thing is, with the algorithm, your stuff is not getting shown to too many people. So if you aren't consistent, and you are not showing and promoting the same things over and over again, it's going to be really hard for those same people to connect with you and to understand this is what you're doing right now. So whether it's a package deal or a Valentine's Day deal or something, it's really important for you to consistently, that's the key word here, promote whether it's your services or other people's services so that way you guys can expand on that. Maybe you can offer an exclusive discount to their particular clients to try out your service. So if you find somebody you really love to work with, say lash artist in your area, and they love working with you, maybe you guys can create some sort of cross promotion for each other. So say, for example, you want to give their audience $20 off of your services, or 20% off, or 10% off, or maybe a free gift or something. You can totally do that, and that will give them a little bit more of an incentive to book with you. And understand that networking can be a little bit difficult. It can be also very scary, but understanding that this will work with the right people involved. I remember when I first started my business, I was so insecure. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. So I still pushed myself to go to networking events, and I was so quiet and in the corner, just like looking at everybody and not really wanting to be there. I was just nervous and scared, but you know what? I had to push through the fear in order to get where I'm at today. And now I'm speaking on stages, and all of the social anxiety that I did have at one point has pretty much subsided. Of course, you know, we all get anxious from time to time, especially when you're in a new area, but every time I'm growing and I feel that anxiousness or anxiety, I know that it's for a reason. It's because I'm pushing myself, I am expanding, I'm stretching. And so now I think of it as kind of like an excited energy as opposed to an anxiety type of energy. So I hope that helps you guys. All right, step number 4, we're going to talk a little bit about brand ambassadors. This is so important. If you guys have a salon, if you guys are just doing mobile, it doesn't matter. Find micro influencers that are on Instagram. Reach out to them via DM, via direct message. You can use your voice message or even video. Those are the 2 that I recommend. I love voice messages, and I'll just get on my Instagram account, on my direct message, and just kind of connect with them that way as opposed to just a text, because I feel like people on the receiving end, they love that so much. They're like, oh, it's actually a human. So it's really important for you guys to kind of, again, stretch yourselves, get a little uncomfortable if that's like, oh, kind of like weird for you. Don't worry. It's so incredibly easy to just send out a quick DM and say something like, hey, you know, I saw you on Instagram. I really love your vibe. I own Slay Beauty Bar. I would love for you to come in and get a complimentary spray tan. I would love to get to know you a little bit better and see what you're all about. Something super simple and easy. You don't have to get into specifics in the beginning, but get a feel. This is kind of like the opportunity when they come in for that free complimentary spray tan. That's a time for you to feel them out and understand, like, is this actually a person that I want to work with? Because I don't care if she has 1 million followers. If it's somebody that I'm going to have to babysit or somebody that I don't like or really vibe with, it's not going to be a good situation for us to work together. It's really important for you to realize that this needs to be a benefit for you as much as it needs to benefit them. This is like a business collaboration. So both of you guys need to benefit from this collab. So invite them in for a complimentary tan and assess whether you want to work with this person or not. From there, you can talk logistics. You can talk about the specifics of what you're looking for. Like, hey, you know, I'm looking for influencers to help promote our brand, to help promote our spray tans. I would love to invite you to be a part of this program. We're only choosing maybe 3 to 5 girls to work with, and we would love for you to be a part of this. So if you guys want to snap a photo of this, feel free. This is actually something that we would give them and have them sign, just so that way we know that we're all on the same page. It's all black and white right here. This is what we want them to do, and this is what we're going to do for them. So I'm not going to go over all of this. You guys can read it on your own time. If you guys want to snap a photo of that, that would be perfect. I'll leave it on for just a couple of seconds here. Alyssa says, just relaunched my brand ambassadors and it has been so much better than in the past. Good. Yeah, when you have that clarity, it's so good. And when you have something like this that's like legitimate and you feel good about it, you know exactly what you're offering them and what your expectations are as well of them back, then it makes it so much easier and more clear. All right, so step number 5, how to make more money now. Share your gifts. Share your gifts. And this can actually pertain to any type of gift you have. It doesn't have to necessarily be sunless related or beauty business related. If you think about something that maybe people are like, wow, you're so talented with that, or you know you're talented with it, this is something that you can think about. So become a problem solver. Think about, what is the problem that I can solve for others, right? So when you heard me guys speak earlier, you heard me say that one of the problems that I saw in our industry was that there wasn't a tan that was dark enough or versatile enough. And so that's the creation of Obsidian Sunless Dark and Rapid. And so that was the problem that I was solving for the sunless industry. And that's what you want to think about. You also want to think outside the box, because at this moment in time when I created this, there weren't that many dark solutions out there. And now everyone's promoting a luxury dark solution. And I feel like we kind of paved the path for that. The same thing happened with our spray tan trainings. I was thinking, like, what kind of problem do we have in the sunless industry that I could help solve? And one of the things that I noticed was that the spray tan trainings out there were just technical. They were just talking about technique. They were just brands like Jolie and you know, big brands like Norvell that were teaching about technique, but missing how, like the marketing and the business aspect of it, and missing the brand neutral aspect of it. Because going into this industry, I really wanted to learn about multiple different types of solution, not just one. And I also wanted to learn about marketing and business and really how to thrive in this industry, so that way I didn't get left behind or I didn't fail at this. And so what I did as, you know, the founder of Spray Tan Class was I created a training that was unbiased, that would showcase multiple different types of solution, that would teach people how to become business owners and technique, all encompassed in one training. And so we priced higher because of that, and we became successful because we thought outside of the box. So now you can find that, you know, through multiple different programs and things like that, but we still price higher because we know that we do things a little bit differently here. I'm always thinking about how can I become better? So as a business owner, you need to have that mindset and that mentality of how can I become better? How can I do things differently? You don't want to just follow the pack. You want to definitely think about something that maybe puts your own unique twist on it, so that way you can be different, because that is going to set you apart. What I want you guys to think about too is, you know, what are you good at? What is something that you love to do? What is something people need? And when you come up with this, you know that people are going to pay for something like that. People will pay for something that they need. The people will understand that you love it and that you're good at it. So they're going to trust that you're able to take them through that transformation to get from point A to point B, right? So now that we've kind of thought about what the problem is that you can solve, and whether or not you're good at it and it's something that you love and people need, think about how you can monetize that. So think about maybe the training program that you can create. So for example, my sister creates like these beautiful handmade bears. And I've been talking to her about trying to create her own training program to teach other people how to do this, because they're so, so nice and so unique and cute. So it's something that you can do as well. So again, it doesn't have to be business related, or not business related, I'm sorry, beauty related or sunless related. It could be anything that you're good at and something that you feel like people would need. You can monetize that. So that can be in the form of like mentoring or live events, or, you know, online courses, things like that. So I want to give you an example of how you can share your gifts. These are the two programs that we've built at Spray Tan Class. And again, we really focused in on building their sunless business as opposed to just technique or just trying to sell them our product. So we deliver content in a way that creates the transformation and positive change for our sunless students. And we've been able to build a successful business based on helping others. So again, going back to you and what your gifts are, thinking about how you can help others and what you're really, really good at, so that way you can help their transformation and help them also learn a skill or learn whatever gift you have. Let's talk a little bit about tips and tricks to create a 5-star experience. Now, the first thing that comes to mind that's not even on here, so just if you write this down, make sure you remember this if you don't write it down. This is the most simple way to create a relationship with somebody, and that is to greet them by first name, right? Greet them by first name and have eye contact. This should be like something that I don't even have to say because it should be common sense, right? But a lot of the times when I go in somewhere, they don't, and they know my name because I pre-booked or whatever. A lot of times they won't say, "Hey, Kelly, welcome to Slay Beauty Bar." I swear, I get my nails done at this one place down the street, for example, and they always know when I'm calling because they're like, "Hi, Kelly, how are you? When do you want to book?" They already know what I want to book. They know my name, and it's created this relationship where I feel like I constantly have to go to them, right? Because we're already like pals, we're already buddies. And this is what I've taught a lot of my students to do because, and also the girls that worked at the salon, because it's so important to create that relationship, especially if nobody else is doing this, which not a lot of people are, I promise you. And this is just a game changer. So greeting them by name, eye contact. Like, hey, Gloria, thank you so much for coming in. I'm so excited to see you, or I'm so excited to meet you. So I see that you're booked for a spray tan today. Give me a couple seconds. I'm going to get the room ready for you. If you want to grab a seat or grab some water, feel free. You know, you want to make it seem like you know them already and make them feel super comfortable being there. Because remember, they're about to get naked in front of you. So you want to make them as comfortable as possible. And whoever can do that the best is going to win at this game. I want you also to define the experience. Like, for you, what does the experience mean? What does the experience mean for you when your clients come in? For me, in my mind, the experience starts when they find me. So whether that's social media, whether that's maybe me walking down the street, maybe that's even at a restaurant or somewhere random where I just meet somebody and I start talking about my business. This is where the relationship starts. This is part of the experience of what they have with you, the experience they have with you, the experience they have booking. You know, if it's hard to book, it's not going to be a good experience. If they look at your social media and they're confused by what you're posting, it's not going to be a good experience. If they look at your website and things aren't working on your website the way they should be, it's not going to be a good experience. And then you want to think about, okay, that's part of the experience, or the phone call is part of the experience, but also when they come in, of course, is a huge part of the experience. Meeting you, getting the spray tan, their experience leaving. Are they feeling tacky? Are they sweating it off? Things like that. And then going forward, you know, the development process, were they clear on that? Did you give them the information that they need in order to have the pre and post care instructions? And finally, you want to think about also, how long does a tan last? How does a tan fade? How does a tan look after they shower? All of these things are creating that experience. So I believe that the experience starts from the moment that they find you until they book with you and the tan actually wears off of their body. So in order to create raving fans, those are the things that you want to think of, is how to create better experiences for the booking system, for the phone call that you have, for the text conversation. How do you create a better experience for them when they're with you, and also as the tan fades? So that's how you create a raving fan, is by having that entire sequence of events be on point. And this starts with you and the way that you're connecting with your clients, or the way that the people that you hired are connecting with your clients. Remember that raving fans, it creates longevity. It doesn't just create that one-time return client. Creating that relationship is so important for you to make sure that they come back to you, because if they love you and maybe something messed up during their spray tan or after it developed or whatever, they're still going to trust you to come back to, because they loved how you worked. So even if you give them a mediocre tan, don't worry about it. They will still be able to open up if they feel comfortable and trust you, for you to be able to fix that problem or come back to you next time. Also remember that consistency creates trust. So what this means is that consistency throughout everything. So that means the booking system, again, whether it's working or not, consistency for their spray tan. So if you're using a bunch of different solutions and giving them a different result every time, that's not going to create consistency. So making sure that you are consistent in the way that you communicate with them, in the way that you're spraying them, taking notes to make sure that, you know, if something did mess up in a previous experience, that you're fixing that or you're avoiding that. And making sure that you're even writing down what they did. So say, for example, they come to you and they take obsidian and they do one coat and they leave it on for 2 hours or 4 hours or whatever. Take note of that in your booking system, so that way next time they come in, you can stay consistent with whatever experience they had with that spray tan, or you can adjust it if they want to go lighter or darker. And make sure that you're letting them know this, right? Make sure that you're letting them know at the end of the session that you're writing everything down, because they won't know that. And then that automatically creates that, basically that tie to you. You know, they're like, okay, well, Alyssa wrote down what she wrote or what she did for me last time. So I want to make sure I go back to her because she did a perfect job, or she'll know how to change it to make it a little bit darker for this time. One thing I love to say is that closed mouths don't get fed. So make sure that you're always offering different things, whether it's the retail product or offering you know, an upgraded service, or offering maybe another service that you're offering that you have on your menu. So something Natalie Finley said is, I talk about how to take care of your tan during each appointment, usually during the powder portion, to remind clients how important the products they use are for long lasting tan. Just by educating my clients on what type of products to use, they end up purchasing some of the retail products, which is great, right? This is how you grow. It's not just off of that base tan. It's actually, again, the entire experience. And if you can create a better experience by offering them a retail product to make that happen, that's going to be better on you, and it's going to be better on your client as well. This is another idea that Contessa threw at us. So Contessa Parsons is also a spray tanning trainer with us. And she said, I require prepayment when they book, which is eliminated at almost 100% of my late cancellations and no-shows. I have implemented private labeling, which has already saved and made me money on Sunless Retail. And I have my clients to pre-book their next appointment and offer a complimentary add-on to their next session if it's pre-booked. So some of her add-ons that she includes for free, as long as they pre-book, is hydrating shimmer spray, anti-aging beauty spray, drying powder, and a mini tan touring. So I'm assuming that's like kind of what Lucy does, where it's like the biceps or maybe the face contouring. Some things to think about when creating the 5-star experience is your goal should be to have each client leaving with more confidence than when they came in. So make everything extremely easy, convenient, and clean from the time they're booking with you to the time that they leave. Make sure you're making it so easy and fun and convenient and safe, right? Especially with COVID and everything, you want to make sure that you're wearing your mask or your gloves and making sure that they feel comfortable, right? Personally, I don't care if people come in with masks or not, but that's up to you, right? Whatever your safety precautions and guidelines are, that is what you want to do, and make sure that you're very specific about that before they come in, so that way they know to bring a mask or they know to bring certain items and be prepared. Use common courtesy like their name, looking at them in the eye, and also if you guys are doing this already, this is huge. You guys should be automating a booking system email. So for example, when they book, they should get an email or a text or something letting them know how to take care of their skin prior to the tan, so that way they have the best experience. Also, you should automate an email so that way after the tan, they get sent out an email with maybe your package information or post-care information, things like that. Remember, the fortune is always in the follow-up. So if you can just shoot them a quick text or have some sort of automation email saying, hey, how did you like your service? We were so excited to meet you, whatever the case may be. I think a lot of people really appreciate the follow-up. And don't forget to ask for the review, ask for the referral, ask how they like their appointment, things like that, because if they don't know to review you, or if they're not reminded to, refer other people to you, they're not going to remember, most likely. So it's really important to kind of give them that nudge that they need in order to do those things to help you as the business owner. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about marketing. I do have a whole section, it's an hour and a half long, on marketing by itself. So if you guys want to write this down really quick, kellyanntv.com. This is going to go way more in depth than what we're going to go through today as far as Instagram goes. So kellyanntv.com. You guys can check that out. It's one of the last videos that have been posted, and I believe it's social media planning for 2021, something like that. So if you guys go check that out, it's gonna go way more in depth, but a couple of things that I just wanted to share with you guys, because I know that a lot of people miss out on these couple of things that can create so much impact on their social media strategies. So the first thing that I want to mention is the aesthetic of your Instagram should be cohesive. You should have a brand with about 3 to 5 different colors, maybe 2 to 3 fonts, so that way you're consistent with what you're putting out there, even being consistent with the type of filter you're using. If you're using preset filters on a program, make sure that you're consistent with what you're putting on here, so that way people can see and be attracted to it. one thing that I changed in my aesthetic is making sure that all the colors were the same, and also making sure that I used bigger photos. So for example, this is a big photo of the clavicle bone, right? This is a big photo of the back of somebody using obsidian, and making sure that there wasn't anything in the background that is too distracting. So same thing with this. We have the tent right there. We have the girl right there. Making it very simple and easy to see, because people don't scroll through too much of Instagram anymore. If they go on your feed, they just kind of look at the first like 9 to 12, maybe a little bit more, you know, graphics that you have. So if you can make these really, really nice, it's going to give you more of an opportunity to get that follow. Now on your bio, a couple of things that I do want to mention is obviously you want your name right here, your handle, your Instagram handle, to be as easy as possible. One of the mistakes that I see a lot of people do is create Instagrams with like underscores or a number at the end of it, or say for example, like spray.tan_class210, something, whatever, you know. It's too complicated. You want to be able to see or to share your Instagram handle in just a few seconds without having to do all the explanations. Because if you're talking to someone, you're like, hey, yeah, follow my Instagram account at spray_tan_class, is very easy to remember, as opposed to spray_tan.class502. So try to eliminate as much guesswork for your audience and for your potential clients as possible. Next, this right here, Spray Tan Class Certification, if you go into edit your profile, this is actually the name. So you can change this to say something like San Diego Spray Tans. And then what I love to do is, when I had my salon, put my phone number right there next to it. So I would put San Diego Spray Tans and then my phone number. This would allow for keywords to be used, certain keywords. So if somebody was searching San Diego Spray Tans, I would have more of an opportunity to show up than if I did not have that on there. So as you can see, Spray Tan Class is our handle, Spray Tan Class Certification is the name. And then going down here, it shows what we do: top Spray Tan business certification, and helping babes start and grow their sunless business, which is exactly what we do. The most in-depth class guaranteed, and then home of Obsidian Sunless, again, like with the links here. So what I would love to see a lot of people do is have a very easy kind of like bullet point with emojis on here. So you can start off with like the best spray tans in Atlanta, or, you know, what we do is we help women glow from the inside out. I don't know, whatever you want, whatever your tagline is. And then you can write, you know, boast about yourself, like, or maybe even put your services like lashes, spray tans, or natural spray tans with natural ingredients, whatever the case may be. Don't forget to put your link on here. This is something I see a lot of people do. They forget to put their link, and how else will they book with you if they don't have a link? Again, making this incredibly easy for them to book and find how to book with you, because when you make it too difficult, and when I say that, that means like a couple extra steps, people aren't going to want to figure it out. They're just going to be like, whatever, bye. I'm definitely like that. I have ADD, like legitimately. So if I can't figure something out in just a couple of clicks, I'm done and I'm on to another page. So I think a lot of people are like that. At this point, we don't really have so much patience to figure it out. So make sure it's super easy. A couple of things that you can do is schedule and plan out your social media with apps like Tailwind, or an app called Unum. Create your content. If you wanted to create content like, for example, this right here, you can create content like this, all of these things were made on Canva, canva.com, or you can even use the app Canva. You can also use Mojo for your stories. I love Mojo. It's a way to create basically videos, and it makes it very, very cool and aesthetically pleasing. You can save your content and captions on Google Drive or similar. So say, for example, you're a planner and you want to just sit down every Sunday for 2 hours and batch out your content, which is basically saying, I'm going to create content for Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, today, right now on Sunday, and I'm going to write out all my captions. I'm going to create all of my graphics, and I'm going to put it all together in a nice Word-like document. Google, you know, you can use Google Docs, I think it's what it's called. You can save everything on there. And then you can either schedule it out through using one of those apps like Tailwind, Or what you can do is manually do this. So say, for example, you set a reminder on your phone, or you put it in your phone calendar that you're going to post Monday at 2 o'clock, Wednesday at 5 o'clock, whatever the case may be. And then you can just basically grab the content that you already made and just put it onto your social media accounts. And then the last thing, two last things, I'm sorry, that I missed on here. Engage on your posts. So anytime somebody says something, try your hardest to reply to them, because you don't want them to think like, oh, they just ignored me. Same with DMs. You want to be super on point with getting back to people. And an easy way to do this, because I know the timeline of it can be overwhelming, is just using the voice message option. Also, make sure you're reviewing your insights. So if you're not a business account and you're a business, you should absolutely change over to a business account. If you don't know how to do this, just YouTube it, Google it. You want to review your analytics, and it's also actually called your insights on Instagram. This is going to give you the opportunity to see when people are most active on Instagram that are part of your audience, what age range is on, and as far as your audience goes, and things like what days they're on and more active. And that's going to give you the timeline of when you should be posting. Renee Crumrin, she's also a spray tan trainer, said she updates her Google account often. So Google My Business. The more that you post on there and update, the more that you're seen. So she also encourages Google referrals and reviews. That also puts you at the top. Google is where 99% of my spray tan clients find me, and they search things like best spray tans near me. So they obviously do trust good reviews, and I know for myself, Google has really, really helped our salon business as well. So now that we went through a lot of different options as far as how you can grow your business and your income, you can either journal this down or write it in the chat. I want you to think about what has held you back from creating more income. And I'm just going to take a sip of water here. What has held you back from creating more income? Is it the lack of retail that you have? Is it the not offering different services? Is it maybe not creating the best experience for your clients that gets them to come back? Maybe it's not making the packages or the memberships, right? You can also have a lack of clarity, a lack of knowledge on how to do certain things like I just mentioned. And maybe even a lack of motivation. I know that I saw that a lot during 2020, where people were just not motivated to make, forward moves because they thought they were stuck, or they became depressed, or they were just not feeling it. And I totally get that. I was pregnant most of 2020, pretty much the entire time. And I felt that as well. And I learned to listen to my body. And when I wanted to take a break, I did, but I also learned how to push myself so that way I could create the best out of the situation that was happening. So I want to ask you too, think about this. Can you afford to stay where you're at right now? Obviously, you guys are here for a reason. I know a lot of you guys, and you guys are here for a reason. And it's most likely because you want to make more money. You want to learn how to maybe perfect your spray tanning craft. Maybe it's the fact that you really don't know how to market yourself well, and you want to learn about social media, or you want to learn about business so that way you can have more of a business mind. Now, all of that takes learning, it takes knowledge, it takes growth, it takes you stretching a little bit to get there. So I commend all of you guys for being here first and foremost, because you're showing up for yourselves. So this is a review that I got from Amanda S. And she says, I've been in the spray tanning business for 10 years and have taken every course under the sun. I finally dove into Spray Tan Classes master course to get my master's certificate and to learn from Kelly and the other trainers. And I'm so glad I did. I wasn't sure what else I could be able to learn, but I figured it wouldn't hurt. Since taking the master's course, I have sold more retail products, added contouring to my menu, and love the connections I made with Kelly and the trainers. If you are on the fence, I highly recommend jumping in and investing in your business with Spray Tan Class. You will not regret it. I made my money back in under a month, and I know I'll make more consistently now that I learned through their program. So I know some of you guys are already master's students, so I love that. Thank you guys so much for showing up again. I know doing these lives creates more momentum, momentum, right? It lights that fire underneath your booty and maybe gives you a little bit more inspiration. And I think that every time that you watch a training, whether it's the master's certification or even the training right now, the live webinar, you can take bits and pieces of it and learn something new every single time. Because I know that for myself, that's exactly what happens. I learn something new every single time. So if you really love a training program that you're enrolled in, or this webinar, for example, like revisit it, because you will get something new every time, even though you might think that you got everything you needed that first time. I want you guys to see the opportunity for yourself. You can absolutely make more money now. And if you need the clarity, or you need the support, or you need the education, we can help you get to that place. We can help you go further faster. So I'm going to share with you guys what the master's certification is all about, because once you get into the master's certified course with spray tan class, you will learn advanced techniques to help you perfect your art and also to create more income. So like contouring a male, contouring a female, you learn about sunless science, the ingredients, which are good, which are bad. You'll learn about blending and powdering and tanning every different type of body and skin types as well. So that would include color wheel theory and so much more. The master's certification that we have is very, very cohesive. It has so many different items as far as business, marketing, and technique. You will learn how to create multiple streams of income, so both online and in person, and you'll learn how to delegate the work. So if you're sitting here like, oh man, I don't know how to do maybe graphics on Canva and I want to hire somebody to help me, or maybe you want to do Facebook ads and you just don't know how to do that, or you need a web designer, you can learn how to do that for extremely inexpensive, and we're going to show you how to do that as well, so that way you can start focusing on your clients and creating those 5 stars experience with them. In this master's certification, we also teach you how to sell packages and memberships, products and services, so that way you feel good about it and you're not like this slimy, salesy person. So there is a sales course that is included in it. You can learn how to create raving fans so that your clients keep coming back to you and referring their friends as well. And you'll learn how to step into true entrepreneurship, so you no longer have to worry about where your next clients are coming from. And this is huge, because I know that a lot of us feel stuck because we don't know how to move forward in the marketing aspect or even in the sales aspect of trying to get these people to come back in, right? So as somebody who's here live, we want to give you guys $100 off, but I also wanted to give you another opportunity once you enroll. So when you guys enroll today, we created this discount for you guys of $100 off, but also we wanted to give you entry to our Align online creation program. This program is going to teach you how to create an online course, so that way you can start making money while you sleep. So this could be an online course for spray tanning, an online course for lashes, an online course for knitting, or like my sister, an online course for creating bears. Whatever gifts you have, you can learn how to create that course online. And that typically is $497, but we're going to give that to you for free with this program here. And lastly, you'll get access to our exclusive Facebook group. So this right here is going to give you a little bit off, and or $197 off. Let me go ahead and admit somebody else in. Sorry about that. And so you'll have this group to fall back on in case you need support, in case you ever have any types of questions, whether it's marketing, business related, technical, anything like that. We have our whole group of spray tan class trainers in there, including myself. So we're able to chat with each other. So you'll get all of these things right here: the master certification course, the Align online program so you can create your own online course, and access to our exclusive Facebook group for $397. The typical value for all of these 3 items is $1,191. The way that you're going to be able to get this today is when you go to stcspecial.com. You can enter code V as in Victor Day, so Valentine's Day, right? Enter code VDAY by midnight tonight PST, and you'll be able to get all of this for the $397 price. So I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and snap a photo, and then I'll give a couple of minutes to do a quick Q&A. I think we're pretty good on time. Good. It's 1:18. I typically talk way more than I have this time. We usually run a little bit later, but I'm glad that we're good here. So if you guys want to snap a photo of this, you guys can go to STC, that stands for spraytanclassspecial.com. Enter VDay, Victor Day, by 11:59. Alyssa says, thank you for continuing these webinars. Good. Yes, I love doing them. They're so fun. If I can't do the in-person stuff, I might as well do the webinars, right? And I was thinking about it earlier today. I was like, I can't wait to do another Slay the Spray tour, but even like the Beauty Business Babes, you know, experience, like that was so much fun. The Wooloo in 2019, it's been so long. I can't wait to actually see people in person. These webinars are great to connect with you guys, but I love doing the in-person stuff so much more. Awesome. So if you, let me just see if you guys had any questions here. Alyssa says, I've always done that and let my clients know that I'm making notes. Perfect. They love it because they know they'll come back and it'll always be the same. Absolutely. That's so important. Just relaunched my brand, my brand ambassadors. Good. My express hands are the most popular. I offer 4-packs and 10-packs. Memberships didn't do much. Yes. I experienced kind of the same thing. Perfect. Okay, cool. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a couple more minutes because sometimes it lags a little bit. So I'll just wait a couple minutes. You guys can snag a photo if you guys need to. And anything that you guys need going forward, we do have a free open Facebook group called Beauty Business Babes. I'll go ahead and type that in as well. This is Beauty Business Babes. There we go. So you guys can add yourselves onto that as well. And I'll go ahead and keep this. I know I'm recording this, so I'm going to keep this live on kellyandtv.com. If you guys missed anything, I'm going to go ahead and upload it today. So that way other people who missed this, which were quite a few, they can actually have the opportunity to watch this again. So happy Valentine's Day to you guys. I hope that you guys have so much fun, whether you guys have a couple or have a spouse or a significant other, or if you're just doing a Valentine's Day thing, or even by yourself. Self-love is the best type of love. So love you guys long time. I will see you guys on the next webinar. I am so excited to connect with you guys further. Thank you so much.